starting this off by getting peed on by this little one. Awesome. Good times. What's up, Justin? Good morning, Brandon. Ooh, that's really warm. Nice. What is up? Just taking this girl out, and she's likely one of the ones I'm keeping, and she's just squirrely. So she gets stressed out and then pees on me, which is annoying. But she's eating. 15 of the 16 babies are eating consistently. So, stop peeing. You're gross. Nobody likes you. You suck. She also spilled her water. Anyway, that's annoying. What's up? Yet again, I kind of have been so busy, I haven't really been able to dig into too many topics as of late. You know, the most recent episode of NPR had Randall Berry on. It was kind of like a herp history episode, which was really awesome. It was very interesting to hear how things were back in the day, and you know, feel pretty grateful for what we have today. But yeah, one of the things that you've all heard me say plenty of times is how like there's that 3-year speed bump that most people have to make it through, and it kind of relates to what I wanted to just get off of my mind. Is the feeling of burning out, like getting overworked or just too tired. And for example, right now I work a full-time job, a part-time job, and I have the collection of snakes. So on top of that, I try and do these, and it's a lot of time spent, you know. And yesterday was my one day off, and I took advantage of it instead of going into the shop for a little bit. And it still doesn't feel like enough. And I know Ryan Cox, he and I were talking, and he was like, man, how do you have time to even do carpets and coffee with everything else? And I don't know, I just make time. But, you know, there are some mornings like this morning where I don't really want to get up and take photos, and I don't really want to get up and sit and ramble in front of a camera like a dummy, which I don't know why you guys enjoy this. It's weird. No, I'm just playing. The only reason I still do it is because plenty of y'all actually do come on here and have good questions, and we get good chat going, stuff like that. But I think it's only human for us to wane, like, you know, ebb and flow with our enthusiasm on things. You know, the longer we do them, and hobbies can, you know, seem like a lot. Yeah, Justin, I will be making it to the herd meeting tonight. I'm going to come straight from GX, basically, because I'll be working at GX3 today, closing up the shop at 6:30, so I'll probably end up going straight there. But yeah, Justin Smith brings up a good point. It does get tough to stay motivated to crank stuff out. So lately I've just been doing these live streams because it's fluid, it's easy, I don't have to prepare anything, you know, physically, so to speak. I don't have to do any editing and clipping together, but it's work, you know, and we're not getting paid for this, but we enjoy doing it, and it ultimately costs us our free time, right? And so when we don't get the free time, it feels like we're always working. It's easy to get burnt out, and it's kind of similar to how, you know, people try to push hard into the hobby when they get excited about it, and that's where my 3-year sort of mantra, or whatever you want to call it, is sort of impacting in that. It's just like 3 years, and you either get over that potential first stage of burnout and you keep riding it out and keep going, and you have fun with it, or you just cave. And you know, I can't say I've been in this super long, but what's up, Dan? Morning. Um, I would, I've been keeping snakes in this fashion, I would say, for shoot, probably 7 or 8 years now. Got my first snake when I was 9, so it's not like I. Anyway, that's not the point. But yeah, so after a few years, it's kind of like, dang, am I really spending my money on this? Am I really spending my free time on this? Depending on what you're doing in life, and it sometimes can quickly feel like all you're doing is working. But then the other thing that comes into play is having the manageable size collection, so you don't run into that burnout. Like right now, I have nearly 100 snakes, and I feel like, well, this is my first time having this many, and it's mostly the hatchlings, but I do have, maybe 35 adults and sub-adults just in carpets. And then the various other species, and it is work. I do consider this one of my jobs. I work at the zoo, I work at the shop, and I work here. So it's quite a bit. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm seeing one of my rainbow boas cruising around, taking a drink. And then I think about like how many projects I have, how many species I have, how much I'm trying to breed each season. Do I have the capacity to carry, all those offspring? Do I have the time to maintain all those offspring? Do I have the budget for food and everything else? And it's a lot, I've got full hatchling racks here and some over there, and everything's pretty full with the exception of a few, and it's a lot, Morning, Carly. Morning, John. So back to the topic of burnout. As it relates to me, this segment, it ends up being fun, and it's not like it's not a huge ordeal. Yeah, Brandon brings up a good point. Some of us have families. Brandon's got a little boy who. If anybody knows how toddlers are, that's like having a whole host of other responsibilities. Then there's this dude interrupting my live stream. Oh, this guy, who's not supposed to be bugging me during the shows. He's getting way too brave about the snake room, which isn't good because a lot of the snakes are getting bigger. So, yeah, there are times where, hey Terry, where I really do feel like I need to cut things out of my routine for my own sanity, and then I never do, or at least I'll put I'll pause something for a short term, but lately I've been, just doing a lot of everything, and a lot of us do the same thing. A lot of us have jobs, collection of snakes, relationships, things like that, so just gotta, slow down sometimes and take those days of like, I need a day to myself, or I need a day to just, take care of only the snakes and really just take it slow and enjoy it. And I do a lot of cycle feeding for the carpets, so right now I'm kind of spreading out the adults and breeders' food, and in the coming months, as we get into sort of like the fall season, before cooling them down a little bit, that's when I'm really going to start throwing food at them. So I'm starting to plan ahead for next season. Planning ahead for next season incorporates, how many pairings, which pairings, prioritizing, and will I have enough vacancies and space and time to bring on another, year's worth of babies? And is that responsible? There is that sort of level for everyone. It's different for everyone based on your situation, resources, time, money, etc., of how much you can handle. And there's no sense bringing in more animals than you can handle, because then you're going to have, a whole host of other problems. So there's that to think of. So sometimes the burnout is real, is what I'm saying. The burnout is real. But, I'm sure I'm not the only one in here who loves these animals, and like every time we're in our respective snake rooms or buildings or just at the one or two enclosures we have and we're just, handling that animal, we sort of forget a lot of that, because we're just really, that's what we like. So, yeah, as you can tell, I don't have much prepared for today. I'm just kind of enjoying a slow weekend, but I am going into the shop today. So, but yeah, the children's pythons have all started shedding. I think there's only 2 left that haven't, and I haven't even looked at them this morning, so that may have changed. But not going to do any feeding trials with them for a while because they are reportedly picky eaters. So I'd like to wait for them to get good and hungry, finish, nourishing themselves off of what they got out of their eggs, get extra hungry, and then given their size, I won't be able to feed them like pinkies per se. Maybe like the tiniest pinky heads, but it'll probably end up being mouse tails. And then if that doesn't work, I'm also prepared to do some gecko scenting with the Reptiles gecko scent that a few people have been reported having success with recently. So there's a few people who have messaged me asking about children's pythons or commented about some of the babies, and I will be letting the majority of them go, for sale. So they'll probably be just $100 plus shipping. So we'll see how the feeding trials go, but that'll be a little bit of time in the future. So they're still tiny and angry. Well, some of them are actually pretty mellow, but Brandon, you got a baby chondro to finally take its first meal that you've been assist feeding for months. That's a great freaking feeling. Good for you, man. That's no small feat. That's tough. That's really tough. Should we take a look at the female super zebra? The male still hasn't shed. So, Riley, I've been seeing striped snakes everywhere, so I messaged Pinell. There you go. Get yourself one. That's a good animal to have, man. M-Pen Red Coastal. Ooh, come here. Ooh, you're gorgeous. Come here. This girl's lightening up so much. Hey, why you do that? She looks great. Yeah, the male is taking his sweet time to shed, and then there's one female jungle. I hate to call her just a jungle or a normal jungle because the pairing and results were very morph centric, but she's stellar. So when she sheds, I'm pretty excited to get photos of her. Have any of you worked with other Antaresia besides children's? What are the main differences between them that you've noticed? There's so many. I've only worked with children's pythons. From what I hear from a lot of people, the only real difference is size. Otherwise, like, their behaviors and temperament and things are relatively similar. They're pretty cool snakes. They're fun little things. Javier Noriega. Do I still breed rainbows? Yes, I do. I will be probably pairing my adults again this season. I don't think my 2016 female is ready for next year, so it'll just be one litter, like I've been doing every other year. So yeah, I will have hopefully another litter of rainbows. They tend to be born in the fall, so maybe next fall, so like a year from now. But yeah, I should have some, hopefully, if all goes well. My rainbows are the easiest babies to establish in my experience. I can get them feeding the day they're born. So, carpets not so much. But that's okay, that means I get to enjoy them longer. The striped jungles are going to be getting their fourth meals tonight, I should say, with the exception of the one that is not feeding yet. But that one's going to be my holdback anyway. So those are going right along really well, which means they should be shedding and growing soon, which means I'll really be able to see what I've got in potential throughout the whole clutch. But like I said, I'm going to be keeping them through the new year just so I can enjoy them and be selfish like that. And then there will be a bunch for sale. I will be keeping probably 2 pairs from that. And then there's a couple folks that have sort of made mention early on that they are interested in a specific animal from that group. So as much as I don't do waiting lists or anything like that, to be fair and keep organized, I might actually start a waiting list for that clutch for next year when I start releasing them. So there's at least 2 people that have like made very specific requests. So we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, the children's will be available whenever they start feeding, whenever that is. The zebra clutch, still waiting on 2 of them to shed, as I was saying earlier. But the other ones are doing super awesome. And by the way, I am still planning on filming some sort of like a video on this this bedding, because I've also done videos on other particulate beddings that I use. And if any of you have seen my collection, you'd probably think I'm a squirrel in a department store with the variety of bedding I use across the board for the same animals and species in the same racks. I don't know why, I don't really have a rhyme or reason, but basically I've decided it's come down to I'm just trying all these different beddings and things that I have available to me, and sort of still experimenting. As you know, much as I get settled on one type of bedding, then a couple months later, a different option falls in my lap. So Ed Villardo of CMC Reptiles, he came by, and I've known him for a little bit now, and I've heard and seen videos on his pulp paper stuff that's fantastic, and then he brought me some samples after we talked, and I told him a couple of the racks that I had. Woo! Hello. See ya. And so I've been trying those out, and I've been really liking it. Oh, you just bit yourself. This is the female zebra. I haven't handled that much. I'm just trying to let them be. Jesus. Simmer. Psycho. Maybe that's what we'll call her, Psycho. So yeah, I may still do a video on that, but if anybody knows Ed, he did post something saying everything was for sale, so I need to get in touch with him, because I don't know if that means he's getting out of it or not. Maybe he hit the burnout. Hope not. Ed's a good guy. So, what's up, Steven? Steven, your male zebra is looking fire, buddy. It's looking pretty awesome. Steven, we're going back to the whole waiting list subject that I don't do, even though I just said I'm doing them. Steven has already sort of claimed a zebra from this clutch. So again, as much as I don't do waiting lists, here I am putting my foot in my mouth, sort of, to Steven. Ooh, he's got an attitude. Aye. Man, he's a little cracker, Steven. You don't even know. This guy looks a lot like the one you got from Nick with how busy this thing is. This is nuts, man. Ow. Jerk. Carly, I'm going to try the paper bedding that Justin made a video about. Once I use up all this goddamn aspen, you think you're running low, so you buy a bag or two. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Like, you get what's close when, you're running out. And because I work at the pet shop, I can get whatever I want, whenever I want. So, I also do, I've gone back to Coke for a few things. I still have my, random small particulate mixture that I made. Just a bunch of other nonsense. So, but anyway, I've been on here rambling for 40 minutes. Sorry for those of y'all who joined us late. I hate to just sort of seem like I'm dipping out right as you get here. Ooh, yowzers. Man, Steven, this thing's going to be yellow. This is going to be some seller's remorse on my end. I'm going to regret selling that animal, I think. But I am a man of my word on that. There might be some blood on the feeding card when it comes to you down the road. Sorry. Anyway, that's baby season for you. The Papuans are little demons. These things are crazy. Angry. And they've been spending a ton of time in their water. So everything's all wet. But that's the nice thing about this pulp paper from Ed. It can take all this water and it doesn't mold. It's pretty nice. I like it. I just wish they wouldn't absolutely flood the place. Anywho. What's up, Richard? Yeah, I'm taking off right now. But you can watch the playback. It wasn't all that exciting, I will admit. There wasn't a lot going on. I was just kind of pulling out random babies and running my mouth, so. Anyway, I gotta go get cleaned up because I gotta go get ready for the shop. And yeah. Until next week. Again, if you guys have any questions about Morelia or carpet pythons or anything like that, let me know. Is that a ball python I pulled out? I got a ball python or two in here. They'll bite you. So, anyway, I'm gonna jam. I gotta get cleaned up and get ready for my other job. Talk about burnout. Non-stop. You can't burn out. Gotta keep going. Started going to the gym again too. So, yeah, I'll be at the meeting tonight, Terry. I'm gonna swing by and pretty much go straight from the shop. So, hopefully I won't smell like a foot. Have a good one, everyone. Let me know if you guys have topics or questions or things that are plaguing you or things that you see online Morelia related that you're like, what is this? Remember them, jot them down, write them in your phone, write them on your hand, write them on a piece of paper. Let's talk about them next week. Bring the fire, bring the heat, because we're burning out. Anyway, later.